Now, after you hear this, you are probably going to want to run to your messages and delete them all, because Google is about to release a major update that will allow AI to read your private messages, not just your recent ones. It's going to be able to read messages dating back years, and this is supposed to affect people worldwide. And that's why today I'm about to share exactly how this is going to work for people that use Google, when this is expected to start, and what you can do to protect yourself now. What's up, guys? This is Monique and welcome back to the channel. Today I can truly say that I am not just back with the news that you can use, but with the news that you need. But first, if you are new here, hello, bonjour, hola, aloha, konnichiwa, wagwan, shalom, assalamu alaikum, jambo, namaste. So I literally just came across this article that says Google update reveals AI will read all of your private messages. When I saw read my private messages, I was like, hold up, wait a minute. So you know I had to dive deep into this and do some research to find out what in the world is going on, and I'm definitely going to be sharing it with you. So basically, all of the stuff that I have been finding has been saying that Google unveiled a game-changing AI upgrade that's coming soon. So what they are saying is about to happen is Google will be adding Blvd to its messaging system. And I know not a lot of people are as familiar with Google Blvd as some of these other type of chatbots, but it's basically a generative artificial intelligence chatbot that's very similar to ChatGPT. And Google and OpenAI and all of these different companies that are creating these chatbots are continuing to add features to it, and they are adding the chatbots to different features every day. And now there are reports all over the internet that's saying that Blvd is now coming to Google Messages. Now, before I tell you about what this will possibly be able to see and do in your messages, another thing that I found when I was on Google doing a search was all of my family's personal info. I found their home addresses, their phone numbers. I could not believe all of the things that were available right here on the internet. And that's because data brokers are selling your personal info to spammers, scammers, and to anyone else that may want to target you. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video, because Aura was able to identify the data brokers that was exposing my personal info, and they submitted opt-out requests for me, which made them have to remove my information. And believe me when I say there were a ton of them. And some other things that I was able to get with Aura is antivirus protection, a VPN, password management, $1 million in identity theft insurance, and more, all in one app at one affordable price. I definitely value my privacy, and I value yours too. So you can go to aura.com/Hintons to start your 2-week free trial. And you'll also find that link down in the description. Now let's get back into AI reading your messages. So the reason for this is supposed to be in order to help you write messages. It's supposed to be able to help you translate languages in your messages when you are talking to others. If someone sends you an image, it can identify images, so you want to be careful what type of images y'all out here sending people. Now, of course, in order to be able to do all of these things, they are saying that AI needs to read your personal messages, and it also needs to be able to review your message history. This AI will be going all the way back to the first message that you have in order to study you. It's trying to understand the relationship dynamic that you have with every person that you send a message to. And by doing that, it will be able to then personalize messages when you ask it to send something to someone. If you're always talking nice and sweet to this person, that's how they'll respond. If you're angry with another person, that's how they'll respond. And of course, this is all alleged. This is according to different reports that I'm finding online. But let me know so far, what do you think about this? Are you okay with AI being added to your messages? Now, of course, like with everything in the world, there are pros and cons. But the thing is, does the good outweigh the bad? Now, some of the ways that it's said that this can be beneficial is in instances where you may be messaging someone and they send you an article. Instead of you having to read that long article, AI can summarize that article and give you a summary of it, and they can also suggest other related articles, which saves you time. Another thing that it may be able to summarize is some of those really long texts that people send you that you don't feel like reading. Another thing that it could possibly do is when you receive important dates in a message, then it can automatically add that date to your calendar. When you're discussing travel plans, it could give you real-time updates on your flight. Now, on the other hand, there are many red flags that's still flying high with this one. A lot of people are worried about privacy concerns, as they should be. Now, they say that AI will be the one that will be reading and analyzing these messages, but we all know that behind AI is human beings. So the question is, when something goes wrong, will they have to go in there and read your messages? And I'm more than sure people don't want their information read by strangers. Let me know down in the comments what you think about that part. Another concern that people have is, will your info be shared with other companies, or will your info be sold, especially when it comes to things like advertising? Now, one of the things I came across that is supposed to be what Google has said is that user privacy is a top priority, and that the data analyzed by AI won't be used for personal ads. But still, the question is, how much are you willing to sacrifice for these advanced features? Now, as far as when we might see this happen, when will this take place? At the time of this video, Blvd is not in any Google messaging, and there has not been any official announcements that have been made by Google. Now, there are people that have been discovering some codes within the Google system that suggest that Google is experimenting with this, and that's why people are coming to the forefront alerting others of what's going on. But still, Google has not come forward and made an announcement as to if they are definitely going to do this or not. Now, Google Messages is something that's used on Androids. It is the default texting app that comes on Android phones. So if and when this does take effect, Androids is where it's expected to start. Now, if you don't have an Android, that does not mean that you are safe and in a clear and that you can relax. You still need to know about this, because of the fact that when one company starts doing something, especially when it comes to Google, Facebook, WhatsApp, and even Apple, they are big competitors with one another. So when they see one company doing something, they want to try to do it and do it even better. So that's why this is a conversation we all need to be having right now, to try to understand what's brewing and know what to expect. Now, one of the questions I know I had, and I'm sure you may have too, is can you opt out of this, and what can you do to protect your info? So if you are uncomfortable with this, if you don't want this to go on your phone, like I said, no official announcement has been made yet, but there are still some steps that you can take right now just to protect your privacy and your info. One of the things you want to make sure you always do is review your privacy settings. And you can go to your Google account settings and make sure that your privacy settings are configured to what you want. You can choose what data is used and for what purposes. Of course, another thing you can always do is explore other messaging apps. But again, like I said, when one of them start to make changes, a lot of the others are going to follow. But again, you can still consider using other messaging apps if this does take place that may not implement AI analysis to the same extent as they are saying this will. And when all else fails, another thing you can do is encrypt your messages to ensure that your messages remain private even from AI analysis. So those are a few things that you can actually start doing right now just to protect your info in general. You should always be looking at privacy settings to make sure that your info is used the way that you want it to be. But other than all of those things you can do, one more thing you can do for me is go ahead on and like this video, because that helps me out. Other than that, I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we are out. Peace. Be safe, y'all.